Hmm. Hari Om. Today's subject is yoga for digestive disorders. There are many types of disorders and they are at different levels. Some disorders are very simple to treat and can cure also. But some are major problems, difficult to treat also and difficult to cure also. That is, I will consider in different levels. The first level is, of course, easy and simple to treat. That is indigestion and constipation. Digestion is a process of converting the food. We take different types of food, and body needs some particular things, particularly the carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, salt, and all that. And we need so much combination of different foods. Some important components are there which are used by the body. Many times there are no important components in the food which need the body. So it's overloading to digestion. That is why food is a major cause for this digestive wrong food habits. Not in the quantity of food, but the quality of food also important. That is why the food intakes must be proper quality. If it doesn't contain the nutritious value, it is useless and overloading the digestive system unnecessarily. So our food must be containing all the essential nutrients which are needed for the body. Then the proper quantity also important. If we eat more than necessary, it is just overloading. That food is of no use for the body. And if you take less quantity, then the body will not get the proper nutrients. So proper quantity is required. No more, no less. Then proper time also is important. Because digestion system functions on the body clock mechanism. So digestion needs a lot of digestive juices. And those are to be prepared in the body. They are not prepared and stored in the body. Rather, body selects whatever the food is there, and according to that, the digestive juices are developed in the body. So we must take the proper and similar quality and quantity of food and a proper time. Because mostly the sun is at the top. The digestive juices are maximum in the body, particularly the acid. Hydrochloric acid is a major component of the digestive juices. And plus so many are there. So afternoon time, maybe about 12:30 is the best because the maximum and proper digestive juices are developed in the body because of the body clock mechanism. Because for juices to develop, to create, it takes some time. So if you have got a proper time to eat, body knows that. So before that, body starts preparing the digestive juices. In the digestive juices, when they are ready and they are poured in the stomach, the food also is taken at the same time. We don't take the food at proper time, then this will not match each other. Digestive juices will not be there when the food is there, or when the digestive juices are there, the food is not there. Both of these situations are developing the digestive disorders, particularly the acidity and proper rest. Because we eat maybe 2 times or 3 times a day, but the digestion of the food takes 12, 16, 18 hours sometimes. It means our digestion is a continuous process, 24 hours going on. So definitely rest is required and very easy to give rest for digestion. Just don't take food. Of course, we'll see some rules for the digestion also. So like that, proper quality, proper quantity, proper time and proper rest. All these points are very important. And exercising body. Because in exercise we consume energy, no doubt. But that is also there, that it must be proper exercise. There should not be lack of exercise. Some people, they don't do any exercise at all. That is also not good for digestion. And over exercise also is bad for digestion. So when we digestive disorder, just say indigestion and constipation, all these points are very important. First we have to check up with the patient what is his food habits, what he is doing some exercise or not and all that. Accordingly we have to give some suggestions from the very beginning to be followed. If the patient doesn't follow the food suggestions or food habits, proper food habits, is not going to improve even by yoga. That is why this is must and first point to be noted and brought to the notice of the patient also, that yes, you must develop your proper food habits, because it will also take some time to develop. So this is the first instruction to be given to the patient, and of course then we can start our yoga program with the understanding that the patient is following the proper food habits. Then development is very fast, otherwise very difficult to develop. So some preparatory practices as usual. You can start with Shavasana, minimum 3 minutes. First asana is Shavasana. So patient also is very happy. Then you can start basic movements, hand movement, leg movement, knee movement, neck movement, shoulder movement and all. Maybe 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds also each. And of course add Shavasana whenever is required. For this patient, there is no problem for the movements. The digestion is some different system which is not connected directly with the movements and joints and all that. So patient will not face any problem for this. But as a regular practice, because patient is a new one, he has not practiced any yoga or yogasanas, so we'll definitely start with the basic movements. But within a short period, maybe about 5-10 days or 5 hours or 10 hours, depending on his physical condition, he can properly master these techniques. And then we can go straight away for sun salutation. I mentioned here 32 rounds in 8 minutes. Because I consider the other systems of the body of the patient are perfect. Only indigestion and constipation is there. So you can do all this. But this is also again target, not on the first day. First day you have to teach sun salutation, maybe 1 or 2 rounds. You will increase the round 3 or 4 rounds. Like that, slowly go on increasing the rounds. And finally you can achieve with little bit speed. This is with speed, you see. 32 rounds in 8 minutes. That means 4 rounds per minute. Our normal sun salutation is 1 round per minute about. This is 4 times more. But hoping that patient is capable of doing this exercise. Because this is exercise. Surya Namaskar to be practiced as exercise. But this will work better because this will give very good blood circulation throughout the body. Blood circulation to the digestive system also. And definitely it will help to improve the digestion. But depending on the condition of the... Now the asanas, these are to be practiced on level 3. Level 3 in a sense, you have to make the very slow movements with steadiness for certain period and then relaxation of muscles. The relaxation of muscles is important. Because when the muscles are relaxed, first when you do certain asana, the muscles are stretched or compressed. But then you maintain the asana for some time and you relax the muscles. Then that stretch or compression will be transferred to the internal organs. Now internal organs are also made up of muscles. So those muscles of the internal organs, they will receive the stretch or compression when you relax. That is Prayatna Shaithilya. So this is very important. So this action will improve the function of those organs. And this action stimulates the blood supply to those organs and provides more oxygen and glucose and improve the nerve supply also. That is why the asanas are selected that this effect must be on the digestive organs. Digestive organs means stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, pancreas, and all this. These are all digestive organs. And these are inside the abdomen. So asanas are selected to give the pressure on these organs through the relaxation. That is why level 3 is very important. Useful practice asanas are very common. Bhujangasana, Chalabhasana, Dhanurasana, Makarasana for relaxation, Pavan Muktasana, Uttanapada Chakrasana, 3 rounds, Sarvangasana, Halasana, Matsyasana, Ardha Matsyendrasana. These are very common asanas. We can find that these asanas are giving some stretch and compression on the abdomen, and after relaxation they are giving the stretch and compression to the inner organs, and those are all digestive organs. That is how these asanas are selected. So these are very important from the view of indigestion and constipation. Then Paschimottanasana, Akanadharunasana, Ushtrasana, Udara Sanchalan, Trikonasana, Virasana. So these are very common asanas. These are very effective for digestive system, provided they are practiced on level 3. If you practice these asanas on level 1 or 2, this result will not be there. Cleansing practices are also very important for digestion because they are directly connected with digestion. Agnisar. The name itself suggests that it stimulates the digestive function. Agni is digestive function. And Kapalbhati also has got the same effect. Vamandhavati, yes, because it is directly connected with cleaning of the stomach. And stomach is a major organ for digestion. What we food take, it is there in the stomach for maybe 3 to 4 hours. And major part of digestion takes place in the stomach. So it must be properly cleaned and maintained. That can be taken care by Vamandhavati. So it is very, very important. Initially I recommend once a week, but then you can, if problem is more severe, you can maybe make it twice a week also, but not every day. Then Laghu Shanka Praksharan also is recommended once a week because this is cleaning the whole digestive tract. That is why these cleansing practices are very important and essential. And full Shanka Praksharan also can be recommended because the patient is quite healthy except indigestion and constipation. So full Shanka Praksharan, I can say this is the best treatment. Once in a year only. It should not be repeated every now and then. So these cleansing practices are very, very important. I can say that they are giving better result than asanas also because they will give the asanas will give the long-term result. In pranayama, we can suggest Suryabhedan pranayam with kumbhak also. And with kumbhak means you have to teach all the 3 bandhas and all. The whole system is to be followed. And Bhastrika pranayam, that is also with kumbhak for 10 minutes each, provided the blood pressure is proper. But now we are considering the pure cases of individual disease. We are not considering the combination. Now these 2 pranayamas, they are stimulating the sympathetic nervous system, which is required for digestion. Because this indigestion and constipation, the sympathetic nervous system is also calmed down. That we have to stimulate. That is why the stimulating pranayama, or we can call it the hot pranayamas, are good. Cold pranayama, the result. Then meditation on Manipur chakra, because Manipur chakra is controlling all digestion system, all organs of the digestion system. So meditation on Manipur chakra with the mantra Om Ram. Ram is a mantra of Manipur chakra. You know the process, I don't want to repeat. Then Yoga Nidra for digestion, if you have prepared for a particular patient and all, it's okay. Otherwise, stress relief, because stress is also one of the major cause for this indigestion and constipation. So this yoga nidra also will be helpful. Of course, once a day is okay for that. Then I suggested some optional practices. This can be taught. These are not essential. But suppose patient has cured a lot, he wants to learn something more, and you also can teach him, and you have got a time and all that, then you can teach all these asanas. These will help definitely, but not essential. As an optional practice we can teach. Viparit Karani, Vakrasan, Uttan Padasan, Pavan Muktasan, Garudasan, Ardha Paschimottanasana, Sulabhushtrasan, Parivarta Trikonasan, Patangasan, and so on. Optional pranayama also, Anulam Vilom with or without kumbhak, right nostril breathing is also okay because they are also stimulating pranayama. In cleansing practices, we can teach Neti, Dandadhavati, Vastradhavati, Nauli, all types and all. So everything is okay, nothing wrong. And we can recommend walking for 60 minutes. This is very good for normal health also. This will help for proper digestion also. And there is no contraindication, because all other systems are proper, and whatever we are doing in yoga, that will help. Only Shitali Shitkari pranayama is not so useful. It will not disturb, but it is not useful. You can't teach Shitali Shitkari or left nostril breathing, but otherwise nothing is contraindication. Food habits are very, very important. But what is suitable? Normal food with less fat, less carbohydrate for controlling the weight, high fibers, because fibers help for digestion, not actual digestion, but fibers, they are not digested and not absorbed in the body. They are just thrown off. But fibers are helping the peristaltic movement, that is moving the food, particularly small intestine, large intestine. And that is the problem. When the constipation is there, the stools are not moving properly through the large intestine. And the fibers are very helpful for that. So definitely we must recommend high fiber food. And that is why fruits are best. But except banana, mango and grape, because banana, mango, grapes, they may increase the weight. And vegetable, they are high fibers, plus nutrients are there. So this is a good food. Definitely you must recommend, and patient should follow this. And of course avoid non-veg food, milk and milk product, rice, oily and spicy food, because all this food, refined food, fast food, preserved food, this is disturbing the digestion. And nowadays we are taking more spicy, refined, fast and preserved food. And that is the main cause for improper digestion and even constipation. So these are to be strictly avoided. That way, how you have to give the instruction to the patient. If patient doesn't follow this instruction, it's very. You can recommend that take the fresh food. When the food is prepared, it must be consumed within 3 hours of preparation. That is called fresh food. If you keep it as it is, after 3 hours, the nutritious value goes on reducing. And after a day or so, the nutritious value is practically zero. You can maintain the physical structure in the fridge or low temperature, but there is no proper nutritious value. And there is no life of the, because food also is a live food. But when time passes up, it becomes dead food. That is why the fresh food is important for digestion. And proper quantity, as it is already explained in yoga text also. Annena purayat ardham toyena cha tritiyakam udara saturiyamshancha savrakshet vaidharna. It means one should take solid food, half the stomach, liquid food, 1/4 of the stomach, and keep the remaining 1/4 part of the stomach empty, so that stomach has to contract and expand during the process of digestion. So some space is required there. So this is how it is recommended in yoga books also, how to take food, about the quantity of food. Then proper time, as I suggested in the beginning. Breakfast must be about 9 a.m., lunch about 12 to 1, and dinner about 7. Little bit here and there won't be much, but not too much. So dinner parties, they are not very good for the digestion, because they start after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock and continue up to 12 o'clock. Very bad. So dinner must be at about 7 p.m., 7:30 at the most. So these are the proper food. Then of course, after completing the total program, we have to give a practice program to the patient, which he should continue maybe for 60 minutes or 90 minutes. Now again, I have to discuss something about the proper rest for digestion. That is fasting. Don't eat food. If you don't eat food, the total system will get rest. So there are some standard ways of fasting. It is total fasting for 1 day in a week or 1 day in 2 weeks. There was some research work also carried out on this fasting procedure. That was carried out by a Japanese doctor, and he has got Nobel Prize for that. Maybe in 1916 or 18, something like that. And he has proved that when the fasting is there, the process of autophagy takes place in the body. You have to understand this autophagy. You see, our body cells, the number of cells are dying every now and then. They die, again the new cells are there, they are replaced by new cells, like that is going on. But all these dead cells, they are thrown out of the body. Now when we don't take any food, total fasting for 1 day in 2 weeks, that was the research. Then whatever the dead cells are there, our body makes use of some components of the dead cells to make the new cells. Body doesn't throw off all the dead cells as it is. That means best from waste, it's like that. So this process is called autophagy. That means body is utilizing the dead cells, some components of the dead cells, not all, some components of the dead cells for making the new cells. This is a very useful process. Otherwise, the dead cells are thrown off as it is, and there are millions of cells. They are dying every day and replaced by new one. So this fasting helps for the autophagy process, and that is why it is essential. So he has also recommended that we must fast 1 full day in 2 weeks. But if digestion problem is there, then we can recommend 1 day fasting for every week. So this autophagy also will take place. They will continue the process, and that will help for recovery of the body. Or I can recommend skip 1 meal at least totally in 1 week. If this 1 day fasting is not possible or not adjustable, then skip 1 meal totally in 1 week. And you have to take lunch only, no dinner. So skip the dinner every day. You can select any one of that. The first one is best. Others are just supporting, but you can do something. Or take the raw food every day in place of dinner. Maybe for many months also, as long as you don't improve. So anything is suitable, which is suitable, we can ask to follow the patient. But as I told you, the first total fasting 1 day in a week is the best one for improving the digestion. Now this is what I discuss about is indigestion and constipation. It's a primary disorder, we can say. Now the higher level disorder is colitis or IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Colitis, in a sense, there is swelling on the intestine, and a total function of intestine reduces slowly. Because small intestine, whatever is digested in the stomach and in the initial part of small intestine is absorbed in the blood through the small intestine. And when there is a swelling, this absorption itself is reduced. And the body is not getting proper nutrients. And irritable bowel syndrome, before absorption only the food is thrown off. So in both the cases, there is no proper nutrition to the whole of the body. And the patient is becoming weak and weak and weak. And because of swelling also, the appetite also is less, he is taking less food, that is also not absorbed properly, and so it is very troublesome condition of both this colitis and IBS. And colitis is swelling, so total function is disturbed. So I can say this is a serious level for the patient. So I have recommended what to do for the primary level. First, when your patient is like this, you can start basic movements only. But that is to practice for 2 weeks, 1 hour a day, every day. In 15 days, you just practice basic movement, no nothing new. Then we can start asanas in YogaPoint book for further 2 more weeks. And by the time the patient starts improving, swelling also is reduced, IBS also is reduced, he start taking something more and more food, digestion is going on improving because of this. So this is very, very important. Don't try to teach different asanas and all that. Just preparatory movements and very simple asanas from the YogaPoint book. There is Pawan Muktasana and all that. You can go through that. In pranayama, deep breathing with both the nostrils and right nostril breathing, a stimulating one. Then yoga nidra once, twice or thrice a day, depending on the severity of the disease. Because yoga nidra is relaxation, and this is very important. When the total body is relaxed, the brain and all body functions, they are concentrating on the recovery of the problem. Because improving the digestion, overcoming the colitis and IBS, the brain has to do some functions. Brain can do all that, but brain doesn't get time. But when we relax the whole body, brain gets time, particularly in yoga nidra. So body itself starts improving with this yoga nidra. And that is at once, twice or thrice, or sometimes many times in a day also. Because this relaxation, particularly in yoga nidra, is very, very helpful for the body to develop the proper system of digestion. And this yoga nidra is just stress relief. Or if you can develop the yoga nidra for colitis in particular, then it will work better. Otherwise, yoga nidra for stress relief also will work. When we practice like this may be for 1 month or may be extended, 1.5 months or even 2 months, depending on the condition and improvement of the patient. When you find that now patient is quite improved, he is taking proper food, it is properly digested, there is no IBS and all that, then we can go for digestive disorder program, which I discussed earlier. So before that, you have to spend 1 month or 1.5 months or even 2 months, depending on the severity of the condition of the patient. And then you can start the same program, which I have already discussed along with you, but with slow speed. That fast speed, sun salutation and all that, that is not to be done, please note. But other asanas you can do, and asanas can be practiced on level 3 also by maintaining asanas for certain period, step by step. This step by step is everywhere. Whatever I have explained is ultimate target, which is to be achieved after some practice. And that practice will depend on the condition of the patient. So all these things are very common for all. Now for these cases, colitis and IBS, asked to take very light food. Light in right food, in a sense, we can say raw food is very light. Fruits, and particularly the fruit juices, these will give proper nutrients also, and there is no overloading to the digestion, because if you take a juice, 85% is directly absorbed in the body. Certain fibers are there, those are not absorbed, those are just thrown out, but 85% is absorbed. So juices are very good for this primary level in the beginning. When the patient improves, then you can start normal food with less fat and carbohydrate as our regular guidelines. But still, best food is fruits and vegetables, because they provide proper nutrients, they are not loading the digestive system, and with the fiber they are helping for the movements of the food in the intestine. Then avoid again non-veg food, milk products, spicy food, refined food. These are all standard. Fast food, preserved food, etc. Then still severe problems now. That means colitis, IBS, you can just treat with much more care and all that. But these further problems are very difficult to treat at your level, I can say, the beginning level. The heartburns, ulcer, diarrhea, flatulence, jaundice, constant belching. These are very serious problems, and the patient is not in a condition to practice yoga, particularly asana, pranayam and cleansing process and all that. We treat certain patients, of course, to certain level in our therapy center, because we have got so many other facilities are there. Some naturopathic facilities, proper adjustment, proper relax, everything is there, which is not there for OPDs. When the patient will come to your center, these facilities are not there. So please don't treat this type of patients. Because firstly, proper diagnosis is essential. And depending on the diagnosis, medication is required, which you cannot provide. It is to be given by the special physician only. Of course, the major cause for this problem is again stress, which can be managed with the help of yoga, which is yoga nidra and om chanting. No asana, no pranayam, nothing. But yoga nidra om chanting is very simple, because these patients are physically weak also. They can't do anything. They can do hardly any movement also. But yoga nidra om chanting doesn't need any movement and all that. So yoga nidra and om chanting definitely will manage the stress, and that will have a good result on the improvement. But as I told you, the medication is definitely required. So let it continue with consultation with the physician and all. So I can say yoga therapy will work as supporting to the medications. Whatever treatment is given by the physician and doctors, let it continue, but with this yoga nidra, om chanting, little bit of deep breathing and all, will work as a supporting. They will help to improve the patient fast and better. But medication is definitely recommended. But I don't recommend any other practice from your side to such patients. So don't try to treat these patients. Only give yoga nidra and om chanting, and that is more than sufficient. And that will also help, of course, definitely. So patient will improve in shorter period in a better way. when the patient improves from these disorders, which can be clear by the symptoms, then one can start teaching yogic practices, which I have already discussed in the beginning. But very slowly and start from easy to difficult. So teach only easy practices. Get the result, feedback, and then to go on the little bit difficult asanas and pranayamas. But you start following Pilates program first. That is for first full 1 month only basic movements. And then you have to practice the indigestion program. So like this, first no yoga program except Yoga Nidra and Om chanting. Then you start practicing Pilates program. And then you start practicing indigestion program. Like that you have to proceed. So it may take 4, 5, 6 months also. But definitely the patient can improve. So that's all about all digestive disorders. There are still some very, very serious disorders are there, for which only Yoga Nidra Om chanting is helpful. No other yogic practice are helpful. So I will not discuss all those points. And of course, every now and then you have to get the proper feedback from the patient, and then go on modifying your training program. Speed is slow, practices are very simple, and it takes a long time, definitely. So your experience definitely will provide you how to teach this indigestion patients. Hari Om.